Not me.
Lucky. There was Nev. Yeah, okay. You know what? I'll give a recap of last session. Bro, that was the bot. Damn it. Every time. Okay. So last session, we started off on the ship of the captain, who you guys didn't get the name of. Surprise, shock. Where you had just pulled a sea lion onto the boat in a net. Yuna, no, yeah, no, Uni, yeah. Hold on. Yes, Yani, that's your name. Bloody hell. Yani, with your doll, sensed a danger approaching the ship, and just in the nick of time, you were able to warn the captain as a second sea lion jumped onto the boat. You all did your best to kill the sea lion, some of you taking a bit more damage than what you would like, while others just absolutely destroyed the beast. And eventually you guys were able to kill them all. Or kill them both. Much to the captain's satisfaction, even though it looked like he didn't really appreciate it. Your help and all of that. As he was too focused on getting the fish. You help him get a decent amount of fish, and you guys decide to dive down into the water to see what you could find from the shipwreck that was rumored or was known to be in that sort of area. Yuna, being steel and wood, just sunk to the bottom, while Rain and Kola were able to swim around. Kola using a special item, and Rain just feeling like at home. Thanks to Rain and his clever tactics, he was able to get Ninarin and Lily down in a bubble of ice. You all were able to reach the shipwreck where there were a few fixed and good conditioned crates, while most of everything was just absolutely destroyed. Kola found a crate of relatively expensive wine, while Rain found a chest of gold and jewels with a few bottles of potions of health in there. I didn't tell you how much it was because you guys didn't count them just yet, so yeah, we'll tell you in this session. And Rain also found a spear hidden in the sand bed. And with that, you all were able to return to the ship. Luckily, or not luckily, pretty clever, you guys, you hid the ship or the chest with the gold onto the anchor of the ship so that the captain wouldn't take his fair share of it, as it is his boat. But he did take a bottle of wine. Unfortunately, you couldn't hide that. Once at the docks, you decided that you will sneakily hide the chest of gold in the cart where the captain was loading his fish. And much to your dislike or disapproval, he was taking the cart to the fish market. You guys didn't think ahead that far, so you kind of just winged this last part as while you were offloading, the captain went in to get the gold, and you just quickly snuck away to get the chest away. And when he came back, he was, meh, they're gone, and gave you the gold or the silvers, and went on his merry way. You guys then headed back to the bounty board, where you met Jeff, the helpful elf, and collected your bounty for the monster, where 50 gold coins were given to Luna, or Yuna, yeah. And then you guys met up with the rest who stayed to collect the cash from the captain. Before you, as you did discuss further, you had two options on what you would do now. One was go back to the tavern and try and sell the wine, or the other was go back to the temple and show the 7 archaeologists your find of the day. You guys are now in the streets. It's kind of quieting down as the day comes to a close or to an end. People are packing up their stalls, locking up their doors and windows. Goats and donkeys are being led into their kind of huts, no, not pens for the night. And you guys get a feeling that it's going to be dark pretty soon. What do you do?
Well, I heard that the nights are rather cold in the desert, so maybe we should make haste to the pyramid.
Night is dark, full of terrors, but not for the Great Cola. The terror fears the Great Cola.
Can you see in the dark, Coda? I mean, you are an owl, but
The Great Cola can see darkness, force. How do you dare challenge? How do you dare question the greatness?
oh no, would never question your greatness. Just thought that it might come in handy soon enough, especially if we don't find our way back. Anyone remember? Can we actually see the pyramid from where we are?
Yes, you can, even though you guys are roughly, let's, yeah, so you just exited the barracks and you're now in the street, so you guys are roughly over here. So I'll say the houses that are close by you are not really that tall, and there is this one gap between them where you could see the wall and past the wall, just the very tip of the tallest temple.
At least it's a easy landmark to make our way back to. Come on, and he'll start walking. But as he's walking, he'll say, Yanni, you know, I was thinking after that little battle we had on the ship, uh, I kind of screwed things up when I threw the fish in the air, but your little defender is good at grappling things, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, fairly proficient. Yes.
Because I was thinking, you know, I can knock things off their feet pretty easily with water, and the problem is they get back up really easily. But I was thinking, you and I could combine our abilities and keep things pinned down, if you know what I mean.
Hmm. It is an interesting thought process, especially if you apply the methods that you used against the bandits. If memory serves, your ice could pin people down against the floor once it is, well, sufficiently wet. So maybe we can have something going on rather efficiently. And to top it all off, my little Victoria can very easily defend others around her with her wings. Doesn't necessarily need the use of her hands.
Why, you and your dolls are full of interesting things. You really must show me how these things work. I can't claim I'll understand any of it, but I sure am interested. And he just sort of smiles at you, and still trying to figure out how you guys even operate.
Oh, I'm very much looking forward to sharing all the little intricacies. And if today wasn't, well, exhausting enough, you can drop by. I think I will make use of tonight in that alchemist's laboratory in the pyramid.
Yeah, Rain
It
just
is.
keeps, he sort of nods and keeps following along.
It is also now, Yuna and Yanni, that you notice your three servants quickly coming to you as they have spent the day just kind of walking around the city, creeping out people, looking for you, and eventually have found you. So your three dolls have now returned to you with. I want to give them an emotion, but they're literally dolls. So to all of you, it's just wooden pieces moving hastily towards you guys.
Ah, you three. I've missed you as well. It seems that he might be a little bit more in tune with the emotive nature of the dolls. Ah, worry not. A trip over the water has been, well, rather eventful. No, just like as we make our way, Yanni is going to like offer his arm to his sister, but keep a conversation going with the other three dolls, kind of like updating them on what's been happening.
The dolls give one by one, just give a nod in response to what you say, as in they slowly take in everything, even though they're just pieces of wood. Do you guys? Yanni is just talking to to toys. And I am
Yeah.
assuming. Sorry?
No, carry on.
I am assuming you guys are all heading towards the temple.
Yeah.
Alright. So throughout the entire walk, the rest of you listen to Yanni chatting to the dolls that are sticking very close to him. And by the time you reach the temple, the sun is halfway on the horizon. Give it a few 10 to 20 minutes and it'll be completely gone. The sky has a bright orange glow to it as the clouds kind of catch that glow and it shine even brighter. And the temple seems to have an essence of a gold feel to it as the sun and the orange of this general environment give it a, instead of the yellow bricks start turning golden, and you get the idea that whoever made this temple preferred or made it with the intention of the temple looking glorious at certain times of the day. And you are now witness to the golden temple that is before you. You guys head inside, and again, you hear relative silence as you go to the second floor. And again, it's there is some chatter as you hear the familiar clanging of hot metal and the small whispers of the group. When you come to the crossway, you hear that the whispers are coming from the old library that you remember visiting, that Seth has been preoccupied. And you hear more than one, so you get the feeling that most of the archaeologists are in there.
Shall we go and say hello?
Most definitely. Good news are, well, a blessing to share.
All right, and once you guys enter the room, you see Apliston standing by the entryway, just with his arms crossed, leaning against the giant rock pillar. As before him, he's just watching Lilith, Seth, and Roki busy discussing what sounds like future plans. And eventually, Seth just kind of nudges Roki and just gestures to you guys. As Roki looks up and is like, ah, you guys are here. So, what did you get up to?
Well, if the smell of salty sea didn't give it away, we've gone fishing.
And did a bit of treasure hunting while we were at it, and he just spins the spear around in his hand and just shows it to them.
Ah, good for you. You went fishing and treasure hunting.
Yeah, any idea on what we're supposed to be saving the world from yet? He just leans on the staff.
Well, I do have somewhat of a plan. I can't say it's solid or anything, but there is an idea. So, before we can save the world, as the bloody Guardian said so, we need to make a reputation for ourselves. That reputation will get us into places a lot easier, and it will certainly make our lives much, much better.
The name Cola in Soralis should get us everywhere. His name is widely known across the world.
I'm sorry, Cola, but I don't think you've noticed that nearly everyone you've met doesn't know your name.
That means that the individuals that we came across were rather ignorant when it comes to the greatness of Master Cola. And I just kind of like try to give like a wink, but I can't. It's like, come on, don't press the matter further.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't known him that long, but I tell you, I'll never forget his name.
Well then, I guess he can be the face of the group. Would you like that, Cola? Would you? She kind of just tilts her head down as if talking to a pet.
Of course, the great Cola should be the face. That way, anyone would know not to mess with us. They would know that doing so would only invite their own doom.
Well, before the ignorance are enlightened to the uh, presence and greatness of Cola, I think we might be getting some reputation already. Although I'm not really sure if it's the good kind. I think I did kind of leave some of my well, family members to wander the city while we were gone fishing. Uh, and they kind of stand out a little bit.
And it's now that your three servants just kind of walk into the room, each heading to a corner,
Comedic timing.
And-
Perfect comedic
and-
timing.
and just stands ready to serve. Everyone else in the room just kind of stares at them as they still click and clack away. Roki just kind of turns her head slowly to you with like a slightly jarred mouth, and it's just, huh?
Yeah, Annabelle, Mirabelle, and Isabel were rather curious of the sights and, well, new experiences that the town had to offer. So they might have gotten some eyes on them. Yeah.
Huh. And she is now. You know what? Yanni, roll me an insight check. I want to see if you do notice this. And anyone else, if you want to, you can roll me an insight check.
Yes, please.
Okay, wow. All right, well, Cola, you have a slightly more difficult time noticing this, as you have to kind of pay more attention to the archaeologist's body language and their tone of voice, as well as their expressions. And you do get the slight fear that they are now just kind of more creeped out and disgusted. Whereas all of you, it's as clear as day. As soon as these dolls walked in, you knew that their attention was on the dolls and only them. As it's something that they were not expecting at all.
I can assure you they are all sweethearts when you get to know them.
Do they talk?
Not with words, but they are surprisingly expressive in some ways.
Huh. As you notice Seth just walk up to one of them and just kind of pokes the head. These are actual dolls.
That is indeed correct.
He now just backs off.
Worry not, they are not meant for combat purposes. They are assistants. Well, retainers of sorts. Helping alchemy, repairing other doors, repairing other things, working with magic and items of sorts. We can see them as just mere assistants.
So you mean that they are pretty, I don't know, valuable?
That they are. You can carry stuff around, they're pretty sturdy. Can help train, can help, well, whatever it is that you intend them to do. To the extent of, well, not necessarily living thing can, and the well, communication can be an issue at times if you don't really understand how they operate, but yes, they are valuable. Especially important to me, as I mentioned previously. I do consider them as family, of sorts.
Okay. As Roki just looks back onto the table with the plans that she has spread out. And Lilith now turns to you guys. She takes a step forward and like, okay, well, aside from the dolls, we have other uses for you guys. I don't know if they could replace you or not, but we have recently run low on supplies. You know, being trapped up here and all of that. So I don't know if you guys have the gold, but we kind of do need some material, mainly for potions, weaponry, and other necessities, food, water. So it would be very helpful if you guys could get us that stuff.
Well, yeah, and he kind of turns his head to like rain to the side. It's like kind of trying to ascertain if they should tell about their findings or not.
Yeah, Rain's still sort of eyeing you two up, trying to figure out if, yeah, he's still trying to figure you guys out. But he goes, I mean, I suppose we could do some shopping. I'm still a little bit, what do we need these resources for exactly? I mean, are we planning on going somewhere?
Well, eventually, after we built a big enough reputation in this kingdom, it it's purely for our safety and our benefits, I guess, because we don't want another incident where bandits just come in and try and kill us all.
That is fair. That is fair. Well, we did come across some money. We did not, well, count the gold that we did find yet, but we can share. We are in this together, after all. And I do indeed believe that my friends can do some shopping for us. It's only a matter if the shopkeepers would be willing to sell uh, to them.
Yeah, that may be something that we need to consider.
If
Well,
the dolls do go do any sort of shopping, I think it might be a good idea to have them accompanied by someone that's a little less intimidating visually. A chaperone
Yes,
of
I agree with
sorts.
you, and I think perhaps if Miss Valentine joins us, she's got quite the silver tongue, it seems.
I
Also came
guess
up
the
with a
other issue is that they
potential.
can't talk, so we may need someone who can. So we could travel with.
I mean, you would know what you need and everything. I'd be happy to go and visit the markets as well, but I was going to say if it's branding that we're so worried about, we did a little brainstorming with the bard and Miss Yuna here, and I think we may have a name that we could use to start gaining some reputation. Not that yours isn't quite enough, the young Cola.
See Roki kind of like perk up with interest. Oh? And what name is that?
Ren like turns his head excitedly, like looking at everyone like, who's gonna who's gonna say it?
Well, it was my sister that proposed it, so now it is. It's like a nudges her.
She'll step forward. Well, kind of thought that the Mythfits would be rather fitting, as we're quite an odd bunch and apparently set upon saving the world by a figure that was considered to be a myth.
Rain
Myth.
will grab Rain will grab his, as she says this, he'll grab his water skin and just shape water out of it to create this like misty. It says Mythfits right above them, but as he just animates the water over their head, and he goes Mythfits, like jazz hands.
You see Seth just kind of like facepalm and Roki just stare at you guys like, okay, I guess that's a name? I've never. Mythfits? Really?
Oh, come
Come
on.
on, it's good.
It. Granted, I'll give you points for originality, but it's certainly not what you usually hear.
Well, we're
yeah,
not your usual group.
exactly.
You could
Well,
say
you've
that
got.
again.
Well, true. She kind of just looks off to the two dolls. You
You're a bunch
certainly
of
are.
archaeologists, right? Aren't you all interested in myths? Surely, come on. What are we looking for here?
You just hear like a sort of shout from behind in Elven. Do any of you speak Elven?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
I'm guessing the rest of you don't really speak Elven. Yeah. So to you guys, this sounds gibberish, but to the two dolls, you just hear a voice from behind, just like, I like it! And the bashing of metal continues. Well, Mythfits it is then. Uh, is there... Well, just, she's slightly disappointed with the name as she was expecting something more heroic. And Lilith just kind of steps forward and like, sorry, just don't mind her. We would like to know if you guys have any plans.
Hmm. Well, at least for now, I believe that the hour grows quite late. So maybe considering some resting and perhaps tackling more of the bounty board come morning, whilst my dolls will accompany Miss Valentine on a shopping run for you. Don't necessarily
Well,
have a well main purpose at least yet. Should we wait for the Guardian to share more knowledge? Should we try to ascertain it ourselves? Should we research if there's any world-ending catastrophe heading our way, prophesized by some, I don't know, wise hermit years and years ago?
we've been trying to talk to the Guardian ever since you guys left, trying to find out more, and the we haven't even seen much of a pebble being moved. He's not talking. I mean, you guys are welcome to try.
He does seem to be quite the fickle being, picking and choosing who he speaks to.
I'm quite fond of riddles and complicated answers as opposed to being that straight. With its points and demands and wants and needs.
Oh, what if we give him a riddle, and if he solves it, then... Oh, wait, I don't know. I'm just saying, if he likes riddles so much, maybe that'll get him to talk.
African or European?
I mean, I've never seen a swallow around here. That could be interesting. Though you guys have been researching this temple, right? Do you
Yeah.
have any information on the Guardian that we might not?
So far, pretty much all of our research has just led to stories of what the Guardian is and what he was to do. And nothing very solid on how to contact him. I don't know, praise him. It, you must understand that the people of that era were pretty much more complicated than the Guardian. They didn't understand that when recording research, you should do it accurately, not in.
Or perhaps you're not reading what they were truly trying to say. What era are we talking about here? How old is this place?
And Seth just kind of perks up and was like, "Oh, well, this temple is believed to be close to 1,500 years old."
Ren gives like a surprised look at the rest of the party.
But it doesn't seem that long ago, to be honest.
Oh, well, most of our history isn't that old. I mean, the first mortals were believed to have originated 4,500 years ago. And they only originated because the dragons decided to protect them. So we're kind of a lucky people.
Ah, that's what the dragons want you to believe. Proof is they only was allowed to exist because Great Cola allowed it.
Ren like can't help but stop a laugh on that one. He goes, "Oh, I truly wish I could have seen that era, Cola. Perhaps we will bring it back once more."
After he said that, just all the archaeologists just kind of stare at him like he's insane. It's like, the hell?
It was simpler times back then.
Well, perhaps we could take a look at some of these stories. I mean, it seems like quite a few of us have got some knowledge of the old days, eh, Cola? But maybe we'd have some insight that you have not.
Well, the two bookshelves are the oldest scrolls in the temple. The one on your left are those that are pretty much gone to dust. I can't record anything from them. And the ones on the right, most of those I've recorded and have replaced. So if you want to use those ones, go use those ones.
Then would kind of step up to the ones that. Which ones were the ones that weren't recorded yet?
The ones on the left.
Uh, okay, so this would be spacing. So, like checking them, I would suppose that it's like dead language or like the hieroglyphics.
Yeah, so you would pull out a book, you would open it, and you would see hieroglyphics, but then underneath you would see kind of just the translation of the hieroglyphics, as Seth not only copied down the information but also translated it for future scholars and people who wanted to read these books.
Hmm. And you went through all the knowledge in this pyramid, correct? Not any work left undone?
I'm sorry, what?
Uh, I'm basically trying to ascertain if we should, quote unquote, hit the library, or if we should try and ascertain more information from the pyramid itself. It seems that the pyramid would be the best way to approach it, but if you archaeologist folk have done everything that could be done in here, it would be a waste of time for us.
You see that the archaeologists in the room just kind of look a little bit embarrassed as Lilith just kind of speaks up like, we didn't get everything. I mean, it is a big temple. There's a lot of hieroglyphics. There's a lot to translate. We haven't done it all.
Then he sighs and puts back the book. All right. Maybe the next course of action should be, well, some of us handling shopping, others taking some new bounties and potentially finding information on said bounties, while others should sit here and research for tomorrow. At least find one direction.
Roki kind of now speaks up in objection to your idea. Like, yeah, that is a good idea, but remember, we need to build a reputation. And I can think of no better way to doing that than to actually getting an audience with the rulers of this kingdom. So, my idea is that you guys work your way up, get an invite, tell the king who you are, do whatever he wants, and then once we have a reputation that will spread across the world, we can move on to the bigger problem. You think that's a good idea? As you just see Seth and Lilith just kind of look at her, it's like, geez, calm down.
Well, that is one way to do it. And I would assume tackling most of the bounties would grant us some form of reputation as capable fighters, investigators, or monster hunters of sorts. Regardless, I think we could tackle that. But
Well, we have been getting our bounties from the royal barracks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You have been, which is why Jeff asked you guys for your name, because you have done quite a bit in one day. That's like kind of surprising. So he was asking just in case you guys return.
And who is the leader of this little kingdom we found ourselves in?
Hmm? You don't know the ruler of this kingdom?
Oh, I'm not local.
Hmm.
But which also just out of character, I would probably know at least what. I've forgotten what the kingdom's actually called. I'm just going through my notes, but which one is the city?
The kingdom is bloody pronunciation. I'm actually just going to the Darien.
Dareen.
Yeah, that's the kingdom's name.
Ah, okay. So while we looking for a King Darien or a Darien, who runs this place? I am not familiar.
And we're most likely.
Well, that's one of the bounties, so I somehow doubt that's the king.
Unless he ran away and we have to bring him back.
You see Roki just kind of like lowering her head, her breathing just increasing with like frustration. And Lilith comes to your rescue. It's like, oh, well, the king's name is Vam Ritual. Or Vim. It's a difficult pronunciation. Vim Ritual.
Can you drop that one in the chat as well?
I will.
Ritual. Any relation to your lion friend back there?
No. They are not. They're not of Xion's race. So, no relation.
Any particularities of this king individual?
Why do you ask? She's kind of now just intrigued.
Oh, just trying to prepare for our eventual meeting. We were discussing actually meeting with the royalty, so if they are an indisposed individual or somebody that values strength above magical prowess, maybe we can, let's say, fit our bounty picking accordingly.
Well, him and his wife are human, but you see, we didn't mention this yet because we didn't want to discourage you. But ever since they both caught a rare disease, no one has been allowed to enter the palace. We don't know what the rare disease is, we just know that they are sick. I mean, we don't even know if they're alive.
A rare disease.
Yanni, how hard is it for you to actually make one of those dolls? I mean, someone who doesn't want to interact with people due to an illness could probably use an assistant like yours. Might be a good gift for a king.
That would be very fair, although I kind of lack the tools necessary at this point, and it depends on how sophisticated we need this doll to be. One such as the three over here couldn't necessarily carry such important matters. Yet one such as my sister will be probably a lot more complex than what we need.
Well, maybe we don't actually need to give him one, but just giving him an audience with one. And he looks at you now, says, or two, and he just shrugs his shoulders. And as he does, you see the tattoos that are on his skin start to like turn his skin milky white as he grows a foot taller and just turns himself into one of those dolls with a disguised self.
Oh my, that is quite a trick.
And
I mean,
one such as myself doesn't have to worry about any kind of crazy diseases. So an audience would not pose any threat to me.
oh yeah, you do have a good point, but I mean, I would be willing to take such a risk. But yes, I think you would obviously be the first choice for that sort of thing, and he'll drop the the disguised self. That. But I was just thinking, best not to go in there alone. If we don't even know that the king's alive, I don't even know where the castle is, to be honest. Has he even got a castle?
Oh, yes, he does. It's actually not that far from the barracks.
Hmm.
Well, either way, I think we should probably do a little bit more planning before we actually go running in to say hello. But I missed your idea earlier, Yanni. What were you saying?
How many bounties did we clear today? Was it 3?
Just the two?
Hmm.
Oh no, it was 3. Yes, but I don't think the fisherman was technically a bounty. I think that was more of a local job.
Until he
Yeah.
turns out to be the king.
Actually, it was 4. The bandits in the temple was your first.
Oh yeah,
It's all been one day still, so yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I hadn't even put that one down on the list of bounties.
What? That was the first one I was like, yep, we have the bandits, we had the
Yeah.
significant secret. Oh, yeah, the treasure. That was the third.
Mm-hmm. I don't believe that might be enough to earn ourselves an audience, but if we do keep this up tomorrow as well, we might just be able to secure a meeting rather soon. And since it is a disease that plagues the royal family, maybe we can look for, well, ingredient gathering or hunting rare beasts that could be utilized in making medicine.
You see, if you guys want, you can roll me a perception check. Actually, no. What's your guys' passive perception?
Mine's
Uh,
15, but I rolled an 8.
Mine's a 13 passive.
Uh,
I think Ira might have the highest one of us, a 14. Oh, no, it was Ray.
Nero.
Yeah.
I actually think I wrote it down somewhere in my notes. I'm just looking.
Yeah, take it time. In the meanwhile, just out, like, quick out of character discussion. Should we, like, try to split up and try to do more tomorrow, or should we just focus on bounty hunting?
I mean, I don't think we should go looking for those bounties unless we're all together. The sandworm and some local criminals outside of town. Is that I might have mixed two bounties together there, but I feel like we should definitely all be together to try and do that. But for shopping and whatever, we can split up.
Okay.
But Rain also wanted to ask, Yanni, do you know how to? Or I suppose I could ask a couple of people in here. But do you know how to identify things, or I don't know, look into magic items?
Yes, that is one of my, well, magical abilities. That is unique fact.
Any item that's been in the presence of Cola is of course magical. That's touched in Great Cola.
Well, I haven't stabbed you with it yet, but I would like to get this spear looked at and see if there's anything I've missed. I mean, it's very well balanced, but we did find it in the shipwreck, so.
That's fair, that is fair. We hand it over to Mirabel while I'm preparing.
Stabbing Cola would mean that the sphere would disintegrate. Shame. It would be a shame to even try to damage Cola.
That it would be, Carla. That it would. We'll hand the spear over to. I assume this is Mirabel. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
He just sort of waves at it nervously, but then presents the spear like it's an honored weapon.
You see the doll's head just kind of flop towards you as its body then slowly turns and then holds its hands just kind of lift up and then flop out in front of you again as it's just waiting for you to place the spear in its hands.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to practice that little disguise trick. I didn't know you could do that. Wow. And he'll just place it down on the arms gingerly.
So, am I right? This doll can use the detect item or identify item.
No, I have the identify as a ritual spell that I could, like, take 10 minutes to go over the spear itself.
All right. The doll will then just turn towards her master and just walk and present the spear to you.
Right, perfect. Hold it like that, dearie. I'm just going to like begin the ritual and have her assist me in it and try to ascertain what this spear is.
All right. In the meantime, most of you notice that Roki seems to be in a deep thought as she's now processing the new information and kind of developing new ideas as they come along. And she just seems too out of it to actually respond. So Lilith just kind of steps in again. Well, I'm sure you guys are pretty tired. I do have bad news for you. There isn't really bedding in the temple for you guys.
That's all right.
Are you sure? I mean, it's kind of unfair of us to just kick you out after the day's already ended.
I mean, I can't speak for the bard and the ranger, but Cola here, didn't you say you basically sleep on a feather bed anywhere you go?
The great Cola can sleep almost anywhere. He likes trees. And see the lesser people. Then rain judgment down upon him. They stray from the path. Though he can also sleep on this floor and fight in the dreamland, so you lesser creatures rest without having to fight battles Cola does every night.
As Lilith just kind of giggles to Cola's response.
I mean, dibs on sharing a room with Cola, if that's cool. I'd love to see. You know, when a dog it looks like it's chasing something in its sleep. He just wants to see what kind of battle happens for Cola in the middle of the night, like how haunted he is. But yeah, I mean, I can sleep anywhere. I'm quite comfortable just on the floor. I'm not sure. Do you guys even sleep? And he just looks at Yanni and Yuna.
I do not sleep in the usual sense. I more just kind of go into a dormant state, but I am still fully aware of my surroundings the whole time. So I don't need the comforts of a bed or anything.
Oh, maybe you should go and do that in front of the statue and have a little staring contest through the night. Maybe you'll wake him.
I like that idea.
Hey guys, sorry for the late again.
No worries, no worries.
No worries, dude.
Hey,
Just
For
to
myself, I need a comfortable bed. I cannot sleep anywhere.
okay, we can make an arrangement of some kind. What about sorry?
I think we've probably also all got bedrolls, don't? I mean, aren't you all
No.
travelers?
I prefer a feather bed, and I koala.
I think she says that she would prefer to sleep with Cola.
Sleep with you or on you?
Well, neither. I prefer his bed, not himself. Does owling shade feathers?
His core just deflates. Yeah. Oh.
Well, Lily, was it? It was Lily, right?
Yep.
I'm sure I could do something to get you a feathered bed. I mean, there isn't much beds in here, but I can make something work.
Why don't
Thank
you
you.
go sleep in one of those sarcophagi? They look pretty comfortable.
Oh my god.
I don't think big man of the temple would like us doing that.
Is there none empty, or are they currently all occupied?
Seth just butts in here. Like, actually, every single sarcophagus you see in the temple were built for the person who died. So pretty much every single tomb that you find in here is full. It's kind of he pushes up his glasses and like a oh by the way.
Yeah,
So, sorry, Karen.
yeah, just sighs and returns to the identifying ritual.
So have you actually opened any of those sarcophagi, or I mean, are you looking into them?
He just keeps the glasses up with his middle finger holding them and like the others just kind of pointing to the sky. It's like we opened all of them.
That's
And
why the Guardian was this. And he first spoke with them.
He just stops and thinks for a moment. That may be why. That may be why.
Yeah, he did call you desecrators.
I wasn't there when he said it, so I can't say sure. But sure, we're desecrators in the name of writing history.
So your group name is the Desecrators?
Huh? No, we don't have a group name. We're just archaeologists.
That's a pretty shitty name. Really think something like archaeologist who serves cola. That would make it much better group name.
Lily roll her eyes.
but
So
I mean,
does
if we are all in this together, then wouldn't we all be the Mythfits that we're representing? Or are you still trying to draw a line between us?
Lilith just kind of stares at Seth for a response, and he fails to give one as he just turns around and looks like he's thinking, but meanwhile he's just hiding his shame. Lilith then turns to you guys like, you know what? I like the name. So yeah, we'll call ourselves that. Now, Yanni,
Mm-hmm.
after you cast your spell of identification or identify, there is no real magic about this weapon, but you do get an idea of what it's made out of. And it's a pretty durable steel. And it's what you can tell is it is laced with silver to make it even better at killing the unnatural monsters of the world. So that you get the feeling that this was a weapon designed for monster hunting.
So it's just like it doesn't have a magical effect, but it might count as a magical weapon against like monsters and beasts that have resistance against non-magical attacks.
It is a silvered weapon.
Oh, silver weapon. Cool.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
I'm glad you like it.
I have no desire for material things, but I, I suppose I haven't heard this yet. So.
Rain might have good or bad news, potentially, depending on what you wish for this particular weapon to be. Is definitely not enchanted by any magical means of sorts, but it does have hints of silver. might help with monster slaying.
Oh, well, that is very nice. Thank you. Thank you very much for looking at that. You wouldn't happen to be able to make use of such a thing, would you? I mean, I've got my trusty quarterstaff. Don't really need much more.
Hmm. I look at it a little bit. Maybe I would. I definitely like to leave the fighting to Alex, but if I should be the one to take matters into my own hands, I could definitely use a weapon like this.
Yes, well, I mean, look, we found it at the bottom of the ocean. I'm not trying to lay any claim to it, but who here is actually a decent spear fighter? I'm just wondering. I mean, I'm pretty good with one myself, but you're welcome to keep it if you need it.
Ah, then I'd rather leave my trusty puppets to do all the fighting for me. I'll extend it back to Ray.
I mean, it works as a good throwing weapon. Perhaps you could teach it to come back to you like that other one. I mean, we saw you throw it overboard earlier, and it just popped right back onto the deck. Brilliant.
It is a handy magical trick. And I can apply that to any weapon, not necessarily a spear. Think how, and he just like raises his fingers and to do like air quotes, cool it might be to throw a sword twice my size and just have it zip right back.
I mean, Rain's sort of looking at the spear, and I mean, wouldn't that work with one of these? That would be awesome.
It's like looking at it, looking at Rain. Mm, mm. Fine, fine. I just didn't feel as it was necessarily earned, as I did not join you in finding this at the bottom of the sea. But if you insist.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with gifts and that sort of thing. I'm and he'll like offer it up to you. He's yeah, yeah. You're welcome to take it.
Think of it. If it benefits you, then it benefits us all as a team.
That is very fair. Very fair way of putting it. And he just like opens the side of his cloak, and the puppet that he uses to like do like combat. And Alex just reaches out from underneath his robe and grabs onto the spear, but it's like too heavy because he's like a little doll, and he just clangs onto the ground as the puppet just barely holds onto it. Ah, maybe I'll do some adjustments over the night. This should be interesting.
So I guess you add a +1 silvered spear.
Mm-hmm.
Check it as silvered in there.
Yeah. I'll say that Lilith. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Lilith just stares at little Alec, and she doesn't really find him creepy or terrifying, but actually finds him kind of cute. It's like, oh, it's a little doll.
Oh, yes, I have a plethora of them. I
Wait
just,
until you hear it scream.
I just opened the cloak further, and there was like, uh, one, so that's Alex, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, four different dolls just clinging onto his body.
Oh, they all look, well, not the one with the big eyes, but I like Alex. She kneels down and gives him a pet.
And Alex like weirdly like reaches with his like doll hand and pats her hand in response.
Lilith, please stop idolizing that creepy thing. You guys now see that Roki has finished her deep thought. And Lilith just kind of obeys and backs off.
Oh, come on. Everyone can play with dolls, no matter how old they are.
Yes, but Lilith has a job to do now. She whispers to Lilith. And then Lilith just nods in response. For those who want to try, you can roll me a you can roll me a perception. That warning you now, it is going to have to be high if you want to be able to hear what they say. All right, all right. Ooh. Okay. Well, Yanni, unfortunately for you, you are too focused on little Alex trying to pick up this spear with all of his might. It kind of looks like his arms are about to pop off with the amount of strain that he's putting on himself.
Right.
Cola, you hear mumbles, and every now and then you can hear a word being spoken. Just words like leave, the, and the market, and it's not that clear for you, but you do get a small sense of what the job is. Just go get materials from the markets, but you don't. There's quite a bit more after that phrase, and you can't really hear it. As for you, Una, you are like a bat in a cave. You hear the entire thing as if it was basically a normal conversation. You hear Roki tell Lilith, "Okay, I want you to go to the marketplace, get some resources, some materials in preparation, and try and find someone to buy a boat. Okay?" And Lilith nods in response. She walks, but then just stops and is like, "Wait." Turns back to Roki. "Must I leave now?" Roki just kind of tilts her head. Is it the end of the day already? Yes, it is. Leave tomorrow. Go sleep. I'm not gonna go sleep. I'm gonna go read a book. She leaves. Roki then turns her attention to the rest of you. Well, the temple is yours for the night. And don't take any of the rooms on the left. Those are our rooms. And we'll make do. You'll have to make do with the rooms on the right. Are we good?
No
Rain
good.
gives a bow.
Okay, good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I want to plan a little bit further. She turns her attention to the table as she pulls out a book.
Cola goes up to Rain and says, "You both like me. Planning to find some man because frustrated. Needs to blow off steam if you understand what."
Could be. I mean, clearly something bugging her, huh? I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Uh, Speaking of which, though, there was another woman here that I don't think we've actually spoken to yet. Shall we go and see if they're still around, they were some sort of an alchemist or something, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, the one in the. Interesting. Yeah, let's go see.
And they were wearing some armor I haven't seen in a very long time. I wonder if they're from around here as well.
All right, and the rest of you, what would you like to do before settling into bed?
Yuna is going to go sit in front of the statue. And before she actually goes into her dormant sleep state, she's actually going to kind of just read through the journal she took off of one of the dead bandits that they killed previously.
All right, all right. Jonelle, or no, Lilith. You joined a bit. I don't know what happened. I think. Is everything all right now?
Yep.
All right. Well, right now you guys have a bit of time before going to bed. If you'd like to do anything, you may. All right. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I guess I will head toward the Guardian and just pray a little. Not pray, meditate.
All right. We'll move to Cola and Rain real quick. So you guys head to the room where you remember the alchemist being, and you see Exusia still sleeping on the chair, taking a nap. You don't, and you get the feeling that she's been where she was, where you like when you left. She hasn't moved.
Noticing that she's asleep, Rain will just sort of peek his head into the room and just try and get a look around the room to see what else is in here.
Mm, I'll say that
Mainly
because.
what is down at the bottom there. That's what he's mainly trying to see.
All right. You know what? Roll me a. Let me think. Would it be intelligence this time or wisdom? Hmm.
Well, intelligence is investigation and wisdom is perception, so
Yeah, I'll say roll me an investigation check.
yeah, that's right.
To you, you just see a bunch of bottles. Some look empty, some you can't really tell as the glass is just stained, and it's just this one big contraption in the middle of the table with a little pipe going out over the table. It's it's alien to you, man. I mean, you don't know what that
Oh,
is.
one of those shisha things they were smoking in the city. Okay. Well, she seems like she's asleep. I'll whisper to Cola.
You hear a moan from her. What do you guys want?
Oh, sorry to disturb you, miss. We were just settling into the temple for the night. Wanted to see what you were working on here and perhaps introduce ourselves properly.
Alright then. She sits up properly, does a pretty long stretch, as you can hear one or two clicks. Pretty loud and audible clicks. And she just kind of stands up, stretches her legs some more, a few more clicks coming from them. And she actually looks pretty awake after that. And it's like, okay, well, I'm Exusia. Your guys' names?
Surely you must know the great Ola and Soralis just at the look.
Yes,
I
and
know
I'm
that
Rain.
you're. Ah, okay. Nice to meet you, Rain. Nice to meet you, Cola. I did not know who you were before, but now I do, and I'm glad that I've met you. He gives you a friendly smile.
Look, finally one that understands the great learning, Ola.
You just look cute.
You can call me anything, baby.
Oh, and there's another one of our friends. Hello, Yanni.
Hi. Am I interrupting something? It's like looking between Cola and the chick.
The gods, I hope not.
Oh no, don't worry. It's just light flattery.
I see. I see.
Is there anything I can help you guys with?
Well, I do not know about my friends here, but I would definitely like to spend most of the night in the laboratory. If that's okay with you.
Okay. But sorry, for some odd reason I blanked out there. Please repeat that.
Yanni would be spending the night because he has only his trance needed for like rest, so he will be able to utilize at least 4 hours of activity within the lab during the night.
Alright. Alright. And what about you two? I mean, surely the great Cola came here for a reason?
Rain sort of waits for a response from Cola, just looking down at him.
Well, the great Cola was thinking. Even though he is so great, there's times when lesser beings hurt, and it wouldn't be great of Cola not to give them a little mercy, healing. So, great Cola, was he to use his own power, would destroy their mortal form. So he was hoping you could provide some things that could offer them healing without destroying form.
So you want potions of healing?
I think that's what he was going for, yes.
You know, great Cola, a lot of us mortals can't really understand your higher way of thinking, so it may be best that you lower your level for us and just get straight to the point. It would be so much better on your case that you don't have to deal with us mortals constantly asking you what you actually mean. You think you can do that?
Don't listen to
Cola
a
would
god.
answer you. Cola would grant you that honor. And yes, some potions of healing would be good.
Well, and you, Mr. Raindrop?
Well, we found some potions on our travels today. I'm not sure. Did anyone actually take a look at those? I was thinking perhaps you could.
Oh, well, sure, hand them over. It will only take me a few minutes to identify them.
I'm not sure if we actually brought those in, or who was holding on to those. Did you know have them? Well, I assume if Yanni was coming in here, maybe you had brought them as well. Maybe.
I mean, I got a bag of holding, so yeah, could be.
Mm. We'll say for this case, Yanni, as you were walking towards the temple, you saw your sister carrying this chest, and it's like, oh, my sister mustn't be able to carry these things. She's too delicate for that, and you took it off her hand.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
So, like, removing a part of his cloak, Yanni would like reach inside, and there's like this doll head to the side that he like inserts his hand in its mouth and like searches for the potions in there for a bit. Not this. Not oh, definitely not that. There you go.
Yanni, the day you stop creeping me out is the day the world has ended, I'm sure.
No, the day Cola dies is the day the world ends. Truly, it cannot exist without Cola.
But can cola exist without a world?
Of course! Cola was there before the world, and Cola will be there most likely after the world ends.
Oh, you were there before the world. Tell me, what was it like? As she asked this, she's just inspecting the potions.
It was dark, and it was silent. It was boring. So Cola decided, now there should be light, and there should be life. So it was.
Ooh. Then, Great Cola, might I ask, why would you make a planet such as ours?
Cola only asked for life, did not specify which form it took. Also, if Cola did everything to the minor detail, it would bore Cola. Know all experience.
Well said. Well said.
Also, is this technically a planet that we live on? I've never really been too sure what the hell this place is.
She just kind of looks at you. It's like, how? What do you mean? Did you not bother thinking of trying to figure out where you are?
Oh, I did, but the answer wasn't that.
Ah, well, this is a planet, the round ball of rock.
And you've seen this?
No, we've done the math.
Ah, right. Well, it is an honor to meet you, Miss. And I'm sorry, I didn't catch where it was that you are from. Are you with the archaeologists?
Of course, we're all with each other. Why do you want to know where I'm from? I thought I
You
thought Francis made it pretty clear that we denounced where we're from.
Yes, but yet you still wear the Yazusha armor. Is that not?
Oh, well, it is, but what else am I supposed to wear?
Fair enough. I just wondered if you had truly denounced them, or if perhaps there was some family history that you're still holding on to.
We all have our history. And yes, I still do have family at the place or at the kingdom. I write to them every day. They write back. So yeah, I'm still connected to the kingdom.
Good, good, that is. a good connection to maintain. Anyway, sorry, Yanni, you had those potions?
Yes, I believe they are currently looked at.
Hmm. And I can tell you now that all of these are potions of health.
Oh, look at that, Cola. Just what you were looking for.
Indeed, I don't have to share my stock. But then again, the great Cola doesn't need a potion of health, does he?
Of course not. Nothing in this world could like cola. It could. Surely regret it. This would incur the wrath of cola and be destroyed in the.
Well, with you on their team, I'm pretty sure that the world would be saved in a matter of moments. She gives the potions back to you, Yanni.
Right over here. And I'll just pull the head out and just, like, with both hands, just stare open its mouth for her to, like, put them inside there.
She kind of just like shivers a bit, but then one by one she puts the potions in the mouth, making sure that her hand doesn't go too far in, as it's kind of just like a tossing the potions in there. She doesn't want to get close, but she still does her part and puts the potions in.
She retracts the hand, putting the last potion in there. The mouth will like clamp shut, like escape Yanni's fingers, and just kind of like chew a little bit. There's like the chewing motion of the lips. Thank you very much. And put it back to my waist.
All right. Is there anything else I can help you find, gentlemen?
Not to me. I think I know my way somewhat around an alchemical lab, and I do have my own assistant. Like pull my head through the door. Isabel, you there? Can you help me a little bit?
You calling all three of them?
No, just one of them.
All right. And Isabel quickly runs over to you. The clacking of the floor draws Exuzia's attention as she just kind of leans toward the door, and eh. Isabel just runs up to you and just waits patiently.
All right, Dizzy, we're gonna help you make alchemy tonight.
You see Cola and Rain, you two see Exusia just kind of stare at the door as it walks past. It looks like she wants to answer the question, but it just shrugs it off and just looks down at Cola. So, great Cola, is there anything I can do for you now? I mean, your friends seem to have gotten everything they want.
The great cola. What you can do for just be good cola. Be
Then I will do that for you. She gives a generous bow before heading back to her chair.
Oh, sweet. Alchemist supplies count as artisan's tools. That's awesome.
Mm.
Means I can. How do I link this?
what? The great cola cares about his students. As should they die, the teaching he has enhanced them. Lord.
That is a good point, Cola. I didn't know you had such a heart. It was a pleasure meeting you. We will see you again soon, I'm sure. Yanni, I will see you in the morning. Let me know if you need any water for whatever it is you're making over there.
Oh, that might actually come in handy. Do we have any empty vials around here in this laboratory?
Yes, there's a few on the table. There's a few boxes underneath the table.
No, perfect.
Use as many as you like.
Some water for my experiments. Rain, I will definitely take you up on that offer.
Oh, sure. Here you go. You can borrow this if you like. Just give it back to me in the morning. And I think it doesn't require attunement. Let me just double check.
No, the what's it called the flask one, the steam one doesn't require one. Unending water, or what it's called.
Yeah, this doesn't. It is a decanter of endless water that he will hand to you. That you can just careful you don't say the and he'll he'll just like hold the stopper closed in it, and he'll say, careful not to say geyser. That can be a little bit of a mess. But a stream will give you about a gallon. Fountain gives you about 5. Here you are.
Thank you. In return, you can take Annabelle with you. If you need anything throughout the night, you can just ask her to bring them to your room. They can't speak, but they can definitely understand.
To do what? Sorry.
To bring you whatever you might need throughout the night, be it some water from here, be it food or a book or whatever have you.
Oh, thank you. I may take you up on that. And he gives a short bow to the doll, and then says, "But I will see you in the morning. I'll be just outside. Good night."
Good night.
All right.
And I'm going to all sort of wave to Cola as well, and then I'm going to go find one of these little sphinxes, and I'm just going to curl up on the feet in the arms and just go to sleep right there.
The great cola will fly up and lay on its back, and like, great cola now goes off to Dreamland to fight the battle, so that you sleep without having to fight it.
Oh, thanks, Cola. I'm sure you'll make a great dream catcher. And you just hear this bubbling sound as he starts to snore. He gets a legitimate like anime sleeping bubble that
Oh.
actually just like part of his face that's expanding.
All right. We'll move to Yuna and Lily. You two, what are you doing?
For me, just meditating.
All right. And Yuna, you said that you were reading the Bander's diary.
Yeah.
Okay, quick question. How many pages?
Just start with 5. See if it's interesting enough to even continue.
All right. So the first page has a bit of a abrupt start, as it's just on the top, day 1. My group was busy walking in the desert when suddenly we were attacked by this weird scorpion lady. I'm not gonna lie, she was kind of attractive, but I won't tell that to any of the other guys. We were able to make a deal with her, and now we work for her. Kind of the first page. The next one, it's just day 5. Like, well, we've reached this the city. I don't know why the Scorpion Lady's leading us here. I really hope she doesn't take us inside. I have a few bad memories about this place. I mean, the prison, the prison in this place is not the friendliest. Um, yeah. Well, I'll see what happens, and I'll update you guys soon. The next page has a bit of blood on it, like a few splatters. Just day 6. Day 6, we just fought off a group of guards of the city. Man, that bitch can work those glaive. She swung that thing, just killed 2 men, cut them right in half. I'm kinda glad that she didn't turn that thing on us and we made the deal. So yeah, we've killed we've killed some gods, and now we're heading towards the temples. She says she has an errand to run or a person to meet. I wasn't really focused on that. When she talks, she's kind of scary, so I'm not gonna pay much attention to her. The very next page is day 9. That bitch has done nothing but just talk to the statue. Ever since we came in here, she's been talking to the statue while we have been risking our lives against those pesky researchers above us. I mean, for a bunch of nerds, they are really, really persistent. Like, they just won't give up. I don't know how they're getting the bolts for their crossbows. I don't know how they're repairing their weapons. I mean, James yesterday was able to break one of the spears, and the very next day, they had to have a new spear. I don't know how it happens. And now this powerful thing isn't going to go up there, and it's just wasting our time. I mean, what's she even trying to do? The very next page still says day 9. As you see some kind of marks on the paper, and it's not really blood. You don't. If you want, you can roll me an investigation check, but it is gonna have to be pretty high for you to get what this is. All right. That page, unfortunately, has a sprinkle of piss on it, as it reads, "Well, some of these jackasses just took the book. I don't know what they were doing. I think they were trying to play a prank on me or something. I was just trying to peel off the gold from his sarcophagus. Next thing I know, a jackass comes behind me, takes the book, and runs off. I run off after him, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't know my way around the temple yet, and he was able to give me the slip. By the time I found him and a few of the other jackasses were busy having fun with the book, so I nearly got into a full-blown fight with them. Luckily, it didn't escalate to that distance. I don't know what they did to the book, but it's certainly not the same. And page 5 ends over there.
We'll close up the book and we'll definitely probably read some more of it later.
Alright.
But now she'll just kind of go into her sleep mode, so to speak.
No. Is final check. Is there anything else you guys want to do before taking a long rest? No. Cool. Alright. Let's take a break here. I am feeling thirsty for coffee. So let's take a quick break and we'll continue just now.
Cool.
All right.
I'm back with coffee.
Welcome back.
Back as well.
Anyone got ideas on like the ruling of crafting potions and stuff in 5e?
I just added like 1,000,000 craftable potions on D&D Beyond. But that's one of those things that's like you can either homebrew or I think there's a section in the DM's guide
I do
like to
have
do it
a,
as a downtime activity.
yeah, I do have like a vague recollection that it might have been something that was added in Xanathar, but I'm not 100% sure.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure. I was looking at this just the other day.
Is there anyone that we're missing?
Might be missing Cola.
Of course we
Ah.
don't miss Cola. Cola was
No.
always here.
Think of the day.
Then we might be missing Lily.
No,
Oh,
Lily just said they were here a second ago.
oh. Shit.
I could have misheard. Maybe.
Well, we'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes. I just need to recollect my thoughts now.
I'm looking in the DM's guide and it doesn't have much in the way of actual crafting mechanics.
No. Crafting the Son of a. Most of the stuff, though, not much. If you really want crafting, look at Legendary Dragon. That is most dragon power.
Oh yeah, you're right. The downtime activity thing is in Xanathar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually just have added a bunch of like ingredients and things on D&D Beyond that should be shared with everyone if you were so interested. Nothing too crazy. They're all like level appropriate.
Yeah, I'd be looking to like craft a potion of healing of my own.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, like the ingredients and stuff. Like it says here. Yeah, all the. Have you got the crafting thing on Xanathar's? You guys should all have Xanathars. So you need raw materials worth half the item's selling cost in order to craft one. And then you divide its gold cost by 50 to see how long it takes to make it. Though I feel like those are really those kinds of rules are much easier to just like improvise.
Let's see, crafting an item.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, I'm having a look at the Xanathar crafting. I think for this campaign, we'll mostly improv the crafting aspect of it. So, I mean, we can use this as a guide. That will help.
Also, I think this is the first time I'm actually reading these rules properly. We've done plenty of crafting in our games without it. Though it has ended up in like making a katana in one day or something. So
That's like a rushed katana then.
yeah, it's also depends on the campaign, you know. That's like an anime game. They can get away with a lot of shit that isn't going to work in like a gritty medieval.
Come on, man. The Belt of Stormbeard's Might is perfectly balanced.
Well, yeah, we had another session in our previous campaign where like it was like an entire session of like they had to go to the bottom of this volcano, and it was this massive smithing montage. It was great, but that was to create like a legendary item. I think for making a potion of healing or something, it shouldn't be that complicated.
Come on, man. I know exactly what you could make a potion. You just do like in Diablo 2. Make it unlimited uses. Be pretty lit.
The Canter of Endless Potion of Healing.
Doesn't the artificer actually have mechanics for crafting that kind of stuff though?
I did check it, but
Not potions, only magical. There is still some limitation, plus it depends on if you the old artificer or the new one, because the old one could craft prosthetic arms while the new one can't.
I think of it the same way that like a rogue uses their thieves' tools to pick a lock. It's like if you have a herbalism kit, you can use that to make a potion of healing. You just need whatever ingredient.
The new one has armor actually. If he wants armor, replace any missing limbs. That's why they stopped making him crafting artificial limbs.
And suddenly we know what Jerry.
alright. Hold on. Would it be like enough to work throughout the night for just one potion of healing?
I'll say, given the materials that she has there, you are able to make at least 2 potions of healing. But by the time you finish your second one, you see that the resources that you need to make them have run out. Alright. After a night of resting and one of the most intense staring battles that will ever be spoken, the sun starts to shine back onto the temple as during the night it started to get pretty cold, and now you can slowly feel the walls kind of heat up with the sun's rays as you now get the sense that it is the morning. What would you guys like to do?
Cola will wake up and look and see. And look! The great Cola has brought the world another day.
Oh, is that what you were doing? Good morning.
We just took a long rest, right?
Yep.
I'm going to go over to Yuna to go and see who won the staring contest.
Oh, yeah, by the way, did anyone write down how many potions you guys found last session?
It was the 3. They were all potions of healing that we just checked, and then there were 7 gems and bottles of wine. I'm not sure how many of those.
We had 6 bottles. Wine gave one to the captain, so we have 5.
Perfect.
Can our treasurer maybe double check that? Because I'm not sure if my notes were 100%.
I hadn't become the treasurer yet when we found that treasure, just so you know. So I didn't write as much
Okay.
down, but I do remember the 7 gems of different colors, a bunch of gold, and the potions. I just didn't remember how
Yeah.
many.
No, that's cool. When we've got the same notes, that's cool.
But since I am the treasurer now, I'll try to pay more attention to that stuff.
Well, in the chest there were, if memory serves me correct, I rolled 3. So there should be, you should have 3 potions in that chest.
Yeah, that we just discovered were potions of healing
Yes.
that Yanni's got at the moment in his little doll head.
And now you have 5 because he made 2 more. Haha.
So, good morning. Who won the staring contest?
I think he did, since. Or maybe I did because he wasn't paying attention at all, so default I win. Point is, I got
You will
no
find
response out of him.
you'll find Lily huddled up to the guardian feats. But it's morning already.
Yes, what? Wait, did you just say you got a response? Did it speak to you in the night?
You are talking to me or Yanni?
Oh, Eunice typing. I think, Rain, you might have misheard her. Because she didn't get a response.
Yeah, might
Just,
have as well. My music bot was a little bit loud there. So did you say that it spoke to you or it didn't give a response? Ah, I see. Yeah, I think that's exactly how that works. You definitely the winner there. Is everyone ready to go shopping? I guess. What are we doing this morning?
Shopping. Okay. What do you have in mind? I got a list of things that I need. After all,
Yeah, I think the archaeologists have got a list as well that they'd like for us to procure. We were talking yesterday about sending the dolls, but I think might be better for you to interact with the shopkeepers.
question: are they going to pay for their stuff, or we are going to pay for it?
I think it was agreed upon that we might need to provide for them for a while.
Yes, I think they are we and we are they. From
So
now on.
what they are saying is that we are gonna be the sugar daddy for them.
Yeah, because I don't recall them fighting the sea monsters or diving for the treasure or killing the bandits.
It's true, they still have to show some of their own value, but who knows? I say we go with the flow and see where this takes us.
Yeah, I like that one. And on that note, maybe we should actually count our funds. Like he opens the mouth of the bag of holding and produces the chest, so we can check just how much gold we have at our disposal.
I wait for Yanni. She is the treasurer now, I think.
That is true. I am the bank, and my sister will be the treasurer.
Nice.
That works. We were trying to figure out if any of your people had like a coin slot or something, but that doll head looks pretty useful. How much can you fit in that thing?
Quite a lot, actually. Mm, Might even fit a body or two.
Alright, so you guys open the chest. You pull out the bags of coins that you received for your jobs, and you start counting them. It takes you a few minutes, but eventually you count them all. And Yuna, I don't have it in my notes. Hopefully you do. How much moolah do you guys make yesterday?
From all of the bounties, we had 490 gold.
And so you guys count it all up, 490 gold. You put it all into the chest, and now the chest is pretty full.
We never did count the money that was actually in the chest, though. You would definitely
That
want to
didn't. Ooh,
check into the contents of that.
I didn't tell
But
you how much was in the chest, did I?
nope, you said we'd do it next session.
Ah, yes. All right. Well, if any of you would like to roll me a D100, please go ahead.
Well, I do suck at those. So,
I think Yuna's in this one.
Lorenzus, you gonna roll it or should I?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
All right. Even though the chest looks full, the more coins you remove, the more you see that the chest is actually lifted up with just a random piece of wood at the bottom as a kind of fool or a prank, so that you are led to believe that the chest is more full than what you expect. And sadly, you only count 32 pieces of gold in the chest.
Destroy the chest in case there is a hidden pocket here or there.
Wait, what do you mean 32? Is there a hole in the chest or something? Did we leave a trail of coins in this? What's going on?
Clearly, the asshole stole the gold without us noticing.
I think some people may be having some gold coins in their fish tonight.
That surely needs to be it. But still, it is more than 500 gold. So, maybe we should check with our friends to see exactly what type of supplies they require and how much that would run us.
I mean, 500 gold will probably get you pretty far, I imagine. I'm not really sure too much about the exchange rate around here. And you can see he's just like a bead of sweat sort of mixing in with the rest of everything, like he doesn't know how to use money.
Oh, and before we talk business, he'll go to everyone and hand them each a potion of healing.
Mm.
There you go.
Oh, is that what you were working on last night?
Yes, managed to make quite the headway with the materials that the laboratory was already equipped with, and I managed to make 2 more.
Oh, very well done. Could I get my flask back?
Of course. So I'll hand Ring his flashback. But remember your advice, but it was really tempting at some point, waiting for the elements to boil for the potion. Really boring. So I kind of wanted to see this geyser for myself again, but I managed to fight back the urge.
Oh, well, I'm sure we can test it out this morning if you want. If anyone needs any water or just a quick shower, I will be uh, activating it outside the temple in just a bit. You know, the weather around here can be a great way to start your day.
Quite so. Well, let's check on our archaeologist friends.
All right. You all, I'm assuming you all head to the library again. You see Yoki in the, well, Roki in the same spot. She looks like she hasn't moved at all. Ooh, what the fuck happened?
Yep. I think you got kicked out of the roll 20 because I don't see you here.
Rejoining. There we are. Yeah. So you all see Roki, and her head is just on the table. She is snoring loudly. Like, you're surprised you couldn't hear her throughout the entire temple.
No?
You know, she's quite an angry woman. Maybe we should go to the market first, bring her back something to eat, and meet her in better spirits. Oh, wait, we need the list.
Yeah. I'm just gonna check the desk itself to see if I can find the list without waking her up.
Alright, roll me a stealth and a perception.
Alright.
And Kola, I see you're up there as well, so you can do the same. Mm. Perfect.
That's really funny. That's really funny.
Well, that's teamwork right there.
Alright. Yanni, you being what you are, it is very, very difficult for you to be stealthy, especially in a place like this with solid marble floors. And pretty much every single step you take has an audible clank or click. Whereas Kola, you noticing Yanni failing at this attempt, you decide, no, I'm gonna focus more on being the stealthy one in this little adventure of ours. So you surprisingly are light on your feet, but actually that's not really surprising, seeing in how you are a small owlin. And so you make not a single sound. You do get, you both do get a chance to look at the table before you actually wake up Roki. 'Cause unfortunately, the stealth check did not make the cut. Cola, I'm sorry, man, but the table is too tall for you. You get up to there, you like put your is it actually wings or hands? What is
It
it?
is it is wings.
It is wings, alright. You put your wings up there and you kind of just like jump trying to get a look, but you can't jump that high. So every time you jump, your eyes are like plain or like on the level of the table, and you can't see any of the writing, and it just frustrates you a bit. Whereas Yanni, you get there and you just start scanning the pages left, right, and center, and you find a page with a list. But before you could go and grab it, you just hear and see Roki just lift her head with a groan and just stare into your soul.
I was like probably leaning over the table, so our faces are like at level with each other. Good morning.
What are you doing? She says this with clenched teeth.
Oh, just looking for the list of supplies that we need to provide for you. Didn't mean to disturb your rest.
She then just looks at the list back at you and just slides it slowly over to you.
Thank you. He picks it up. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, click.
Nice.
Let's get out of here before she fully wakes up.
Yep,
Click, clack,
second that.
click, 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 click.
Alright. And you all head outside of the temple. You see before you is just a clear sky, and behind this, in front of you, you get a dark colored sky, kind of like a dark blue, still showing a bit of the night. But every second that passes, that darkness just kind of turns into a very, very light shade of blue as the sun rises behind you guys over the temple. What would you guys like to do?
On to the bazaar.
First, let us take a look at their shopping list so we know what they need and estimated the cost.
Oh, that's fair.
All right.
Who has it?
I do.
What it say?
All right. Yanni, you take a look at the list and you see it's a pretty extensive list, ranging from different varieties of metals and steels, as well as other basic smithing equipment and resources, to ingredients for alchemy that most of them you actually recognize as you are familiar with the craft. And then there's the basic food such as salted pork, apples, barrels of water, and 1 or 2 barrels of wine. It's a pretty long list.
I take a look at it and then I say, oh my god, they're going to run us dry.
It's like a moment in these cartoons where you just like open the list and the list just falls to the ground and keeps on rolling, you know?
Rolls all the way down the road. Yeah.
It's like, "Ugh."
The Guardian didn't say anything about sharing resources with them, right?
Great.
I mean, but if we buy all this, we won't even have enough gold to sustain ourselves, food, and maybe few traveling gear.
Well, we might want to do at least check on the gold costs of these while we are actually at the bazaar. And well, he's like tilts his head to the side. I do have uh, a certain degree of trust in your ability to barter the price down. So we might be able to provide for both them and us. And then he shifts his head to Roan. Sorry, all of us.
You know, those dolls might actually help you drop the price a little bit. I was thinking. I've seen most of the shopkeepers around here If they're not angry, they can tend to be a bit skittish.
Oh, intimidation tactics. Okay.
I mean, it seems to have worked on everyone else we've walked past. Would you be able to work that into a bartering sort of agreement, Miss Valentine?
Well, I can speak with the merchants, soften them up a little bit, but we'll see.
Well, perhaps we should. I mean, if we're going to get this whole list done, perhaps we should split up and, I don't know, set off into pairs or something. What?
Aren't there a general store that can provide most of the items, and the rest we can go after?
Yeah. I'm here for a day at the market. Works for me. And he'll sort of rest his arms on his staff over his shoulders. And if anyone wants a quick cool down, we can provide that too. Anyone interested? And he'll just hold out the decanter.
I think I'll pass.
Yanni looked like he wanted to, but seeing Lily decline it, just like shrinks down a bit. Like, alright, maybe later.
Now go on. It's not like we're wasting any of it. And he throws the decanter to you again, Yanni.
And you actually like see him like take it and like brings it to the mask that has this like wide grin, and with a click the smile just opens up, and he basically like drinks out of it. Much better.
Oh, I thought you wanted to try its special feature.
Geyser!
Boom, fire hose activated.
As you
I
say,
can just
the
picture him getting yeeted off screen as it does.
as you say the word geyser, just a massive amount of force of water just bursts out from the container and just hits you in the chest.
Oh, no, you got to point it the other way, away from you. Oh,
That hurt. That hurt.
You are very, very quickly drenched with water.
Rain will be offer you to help you back to your feet if it knocked you over, and just say, "Oh, yes, the waves can be rather temperamental."
I blame you for making it look so easy yesterday.
Look, I must say, my connection with nature is not what it once was, but it's still a bit stronger than most. Don't worry, you'll get the hang of it.
Work in progress. Work in progress. And like I take his hand and get onto my feet and hand back the like decanter, and like from underneath the cloak, the dolls just basically go out and shake off the extra water that they had on them. Each one like moving individually. Even the head, that's like the bag of holding, just like spits out some water. Oh, all right, that's enough cooling down for now. Let's head to the market before I injure myself further.
Yes, let's. He'll start walking off. with Yanni towards the market, but sort of offer to anyone else just almost rhetorically.
Anyone else joining them, or you guys gonna do something else?
I am joining them.
Cola is joining them.
And I'm assuming Yuna, you're also joining them.
Most likely. She's having some problems, probably.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So you'll take the morning, a nice chilled stroll as you walk towards the marketplace. Can one of you roll me a survival check? Just, let's say, who's leading the pack?
Oh, sorry, I'd already.
Ah,
checked that.
we'll say you are leading the pack with Yanni.
Yeah, I think to be fair, if Nira isn't uh, the one tracking, it would fall to Rain.
All right. So you guys take a nice chilled stroll as you walk towards the city. Rain and Yanni leading. You take in a moment to actually appreciate the architecture of the city, as there is a very distinct way that the buildings were built and risen. As there are a few, you now start to notice the wooden poles at the very top of the buildings, almost to hold the roof in place. You see that the doors are just completely made of wood, but they aren't really on any hinges, so a person would have to pick it up and move it to the side. And in Rain, as you walk some more, you start to realize that you actually don't know the direction or know the exact direction towards the market, but you know the general area. So you ask one or two of the locals who are getting up and starting their morning routines, and they pretty happily point you in the right direction. And in about 30 minutes, you guys are able to reach the markets. You see that most of them are still prepping and setting up their stalls as the sun still starts to rise. What would you do?
Well, let's get some shopping done. Miss Valentine, if you will.
Where is the general trading shop here?
All right, so most of the actually, let me point it out on to the map. So the marketplace is roughly in this location. Those buildings kind of just represent it. They're not the greatest, but they'll have to do. And so the general store that has almost everything is not like the other stores where it's just a wooden stand with a few shelves and then kind of a cloth hanging over. It's a proper building that you can walk into, and it has the sign Mike's Traders kind of just posted above the doorway.
I book Yanni. I think I tell him, do you have any connection there?
I'm as fresh to this city as you are, my dear.
Okay, let's go in. Mighty koala, uh, clean your feather or something. Just be presentable.
A great cola is always not. It is clearly the establishment that has higher standards. It would clearly require something of a guard to basically. Step into.
Well, I hope it's good for your tastes. We enter the shop, I presume.
Mhm.
All right. You enter the shop and you see there is just one Tabaski. It is right. That is how you pronounce their species name.
I think it's the Baxi.
Yeah, Tabaxi. You see there's one Tabaxi kind of staff member working at what would be the till of the store. As he's just sorting out a few things, just straightening out a small statue or two. He looks to you, he's like, ah, welcome to Mike's Traders. How can I help you?
Well, good sir. We got a few things that we need to pick from here. Can you provide, or do we need to go for another establishment?
Well, I have pretty much anything that one would need.
At
What is it?
reasonable prices?
Reasonable prices for reasonable gifts.
Well,
What is them?
I tell tell Yanni to hand him the shopping list.
You tell him what's on the shopping list, and you see he himself takes out a paper and just makes some notes, keep an idea of what is required. After you tell the list, he just thinks for wit and just a smile grows. Ah, yes, it is quite a bit, and I do have most of what you may need.
Well, mark what you have and how much it will cost us with discount as well, please. I whisper, Yanni, did they ask for the top quality or whatever quality they wanted?
Not specified, but let's just go with regular. Let's not pamper them. Would set a bad precedent.
It doesn't need to be your best quality, but the regular stuff.
I see, I see. Well, I don't have most of the potion herbs. I unfortunately ran out of stock a few days ago, and I'm still waiting for a new shipment. But I can still sell you pretty much everything else.
There is another shop that sell that, or it's all you.
Oh, I am one of the more pronounced traders. There are others, but you may find them to be a bit lacking in the quality side. He gives you a kind of sly smile.
The quality doesn't matter most.
Hmm. Well, you can always go to them, but they are halfway across town. It'd be a waste of a walk.
Can I roll an insight to see if he's truthful?
Go ahead.
I would also like to chime in on that check.
You can also go ahead.
Sorry.
Oof.
Shit.
All right. Yanni, being associated with the normal or nobles, you aren't really used to the kind of marketing tactics of the lower stalls. And so to you, you don't really get a good reading of this guy. But Lily, you yourself, you don't really know for sure if he's lying or not, but you do get a uneasy feeling about him.
I see. I will inspect all your items, by the way, and if any of them doesn't match what we have in mind, you can just keep all the stuff back in your storage. You won't need them, we'll go on somewhere else.
He backs away while bowing, just still keeping eye contact with you as he bows. Of course. It's only right, isn't it? He moves out of this kind of stall and amongst the shelves. He kind of just looks back at you, expecting you to follow.
Okay. I will follow him.
Follow we shall.
All right.
I whisper them, I whisper them, just keep your eyes out.
All right.
Nice.
I'm going to ask that you two make investigation checks for me, please. Just
Uh,
for all the items in general.
could I also use an extra pair of eyes by dragging one of my dolls in here?
Yes, you can. And with that, I'll say you can roll with advantage.
Thank you. Oh my god, an 8 and a 9. Yikes! Ah!
Oh, all right. So the Tabaski leads you through the stalls and the shelves, and he points out all the items to you. He first starts with the food, and the food actually looks decently fresh. Like it was delivered yesterday and recently packed onto the shelves. And so the food you don't get such a bad feeling about. But when it comes to the material, you guys haven't been around blacksmith that often, and Yanni, you've been working with wood more than you have with metals. So with the metals that you do know, they are the right ones and they are legit, but the others you aren't really familiar and you just struggle a bit to like try and prove if they are fake or not. And ultimately, you guys just think this is a normal merchant just trying to sell his stores.
Alright, that's fair enough. So we let him like gather things for us, and as we follow him, and as
yeah.
we get to like the payment aspect of it, Yanni would pipe up about. Well, you did mention that the alchemical reagents were lacking, and we were expecting a shipment recently, and I think we might be bringing good news for you. Because recently, me and my companions, as the Mythfits, have undertaken some bounties from the local garrison and cleared the waters of the creatures that were potentially hindering this trade. So you might be into a good batch relatively soon.
Ah, well, you have my appreciation. Mythfits, was it?
Mm-hmm.
An intriguing name. Say,
One you would make good to remember. Might be uh, looking forward to making continual business with you.
well, if ever, if you ever come back again, I may grant you a discount. Unfortunately, being first customers, I cannot take a chance now. So, I hope it's not too frightening when I tell you that the combined price for the items that you require is 250 gold pieces.
That too expensive.
I am sorry, but most of the materials that you need are on the expensive side.
Even
Well,
if the shop price might be a little bit steeper, and we are not returning customers, I believe we could make some good advertisement for your shop if we are to make a name for ourselves within the city, undertaking more and more bounties. Of course, it might be a risk you would be taking, but I think it might prove uh, profitable for both sides. Hmm?
Roll me a persuasion.
can I help him? Or,
What would you say to help him?
well, our reputation's growing more and more, and we will require more and more supplies. And whenever someone asks us from where we are buying stuff, we will always direct him to your shop. Plus, seeing us coming in and out that will boost your business for sure. And I point at koala. Plus, we have the greatest koala with us.
All right, Yanni. With that, I'll say you can roll with the advantage.
Thank you.
As Lily, as you say that and point to Cola, the tabaxi just leans over the table and looks at him. Just, "Hmm, I don't see how a small thing like that can be so great."
Is he eyeing koala as a prey?
Yes,
Being
he
cat?
is.
Mhm.
Do
A
not make
little
cola.
gorgeous.
Do not make cola flex. Smash you into a paste, tiny one.
A feisty one, isn't he?
I was
And
telling koala, you know that tabaxi, it's like cats, they like to play with their prey. You're just teasing him.
Of course, Mika Creek like to play with cola. Oh, play with his finds it beneath.
all right, and with that surprisingly lucky roll, you pretty easily convinced Tabaxi, as not paying any more attention to Cola, thinks about the offer, and it's just, oh, the Misfits are making a name for themselves, and you will direct most of the people you meet towards my way.
Of course, if the goods are of the right quality and for a great price, I believe that everyone that we might meet might benefit from doing business with you.
Hmm. Well, in that case, I am willing to lower the price if you won't mind. 200?
Then he looks over at that Lily. It's kind of, it's good enough.
Yep. By the way, we only give him the shopping list from those guys. We don't need anything.
Hmm. So thanks for himself a little bit. Not at the moment, no. I believe we all have our own individual supplies to last us for a little bit. Uh, hmm.
Sorry, DM. The area that we are in the kingdom, what's the weather like? It's like desert and Sahara.
Yeah, it's mostly sunny skies with every now and then a cloud, but it's pretty rare if you do see a cloud. So it's not it doesn't rain that often.
So the bedrolls will be enough if we have to stay, let's say, one night outside, or do we need like a shelter, something? Tent.
You would need some kind of shelter, as even though it's pretty hot during the day, it gets bloody cold during the night.
Yeah, I think we should get some tents, make sure everyone's got enough rope, maybe some iron spikes, some oil. We've got healing potions. Anyone know how to make holy water? It's always a good thing to have with you.
Speaking from experience,
No, well, sort of. You know, back in my younger days, they they used to teach us that the leader who wins a battle does as much planning before the battle is fought. The leader who loses the battle does little but planning. You know,
You are made of water, right?
in a way.
So if you became a cleric of a sort, would that make you holy?
I don't know.
Jonathan?
That would be pretty cool. If we could find a cleric, I'd be eager to try it out to see if he could purify me as such.
Cola
Okay.
places a feather on Rain. I bless you in the great name of Cola. You are now holy.
So you can technically kill a vampire by grappling him.
Well,
yes.
I think I can now. Thank you, Cola. I will try it next time we meet a vampire.
I'm sorry, that was actually just too good for me. Cola, give yourself inspiration. Wow, no. Trying to bless an entity of water.
Okay, seems like we've got our holy water sorted. What about the rest?
Hmm.
How many tents we need then? I asked the shopkeeper, how large are the tents, or what's the variety that you have?
I only really have two. One is the small and the other is the medium. The small tents can fit two people at a time. The medium, they can fit six.
The medium should be enough, I think, with two rotating as a guard.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Then he nods.
How much the medium tent?
Given our already growing relationship, I will lower the price to 20 gold pieces.
20 gold, you said?
Yes.
We throw another 20 for the tent.
Now, I must ask, do you have a way of carrying all of these items that you have just purchased? I mean, the tent itself is a two-man job.
Uh,
One, well,
Worthy
let's check
not.
in the bag folder.
We do have the means. Annabelle! Mirabelle!
The dolls walk in, and the Tabasky's ears just kind of perk up with interest as he watches them just stroll into his stall.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna like reach inside the cloak as well and open up the bag of holding and have it like vomit out the steel defender as well.
I tell him we will take the tent, but the rest of the items, do you do delivery?
Yeah,
Delivery.
we can carry all of them. Don't worry.
Now we buy their stuff and we carry them as well? They are working us.
Well, if you want, I can do delivery for you. It just depends where.
To the Great Pyramid?
Mhm. It is possible. He thinks for a moment.
But that would require an additional cost.
Well, if you put your name on the cards, and while it's going to the pyramid, everyone will asking, oh, that your shop is actually delivering stuff. That would be free advertisement for you.
That is a interesting idea. As you see, he slowly goes into a deep thought. It doesn't last too long, but he just looks up at you, Lily. Says, I will do it. I will. I will deliver. If you are not sorted already.
Hmm. By the way, do you need anything else from your side? Do you have anything that you're quite taken care of since we are here?
Mm, Now that you ask, there is a little boy who keeps walking into my store and tries his hand at stealing things. I've tried my hardest to discipline him, but he never seems to learn. Maybe a bit more of a scary tactic is needed. And he looks towards the dolls and you, Yanni.
Well, having an angry koala chasing him, that should be enough, I think. If not, we have plenty of oddities of sort.
Well, you just need to do your best to scare the kid off for good. He does annoy the customers that are inside, and he's been getting bad for business. I was even thinking of hiring the guards to put him away, but that seems a bit much for a child.
Any kind of ponders this a little bit, considering the fact that the guy offered to deliver for us, so the puppets wouldn't be needed to do that, and we'd be going to the bounty board to try and tackle another mission. He would pipe up. I think that might be a good idea, actually. Do you think that two of my friends would be enough to scare off the little kid?
Hmm. Yes, they will do. Very nicely.
Perfect. Then for the rest of the day and for the delivery itself, if you need any help, you can count on them.
Yeah, I will be using their help. And thank you for your. Just thinking of the words now. How do you?
Patronage.
Ah, patronage. Thank you.
Rain says this as he walks up and places a basket full of like stuff from around the shop that he's found. I thought some of these might be useful as well, but uh, just you can never be too prepared. Not sure what everyone's already got on them, and he's just picked up a couple of like things. I'm not sure he'd either be asking the shopkeeper if they have these, or he would already have found them somewhere in the shop.
What are the items?
So, first of all, chalk. Do you have any chalk?
Why, yes, of course I have chalk.
Okay, good. What about grappling hooks?
That is. Uh, hmm. See, as he just searching through his memory, trying to think if he does actually have.
Nothing fancy.
Surprisingly. Oh, sorry. Yes.
He just says nothing fancy. He's not looking for anything crazy. And I mean, if all of you think this is too much, we're welcome to stop me. But I thought these might come in handy.
Hmm. Surprisingly, I don't have a grappling hook in among my wares. For that, you'll have to visit one of the blacksmiths.
Yeah, fair enough. I assume then they'd also have things like hammers and pythons, to attach rope to.
Oh yes, of course they.
Okay, so do you sell any metal things like steel mirrors or manacles or anything like that?
Steel mirrors.
Yes,
Hmm?
an essential tool if you likely to encounter something that can give you one of those funny looks. But also for looking around corners. That it's signaling your comrades out here in the sun. It's quite a handy little tool for that.
I have regular mirrors, but not steel ones.
Oh,
And
what like fancy, like a full face mirror? I just mean a little one that you can hold in your hand.
oh, those I don't. I only have the larger ones, as a few of the higher up customers do tend to buy.
All
And
right. Do
sorry,
any of you? He'll turn to the party and just say, "Do any of you carry a steel mirror on you?"
I supposed to, but no. I buy one.
Well, I'm sure that the blacksmith can probably help us out with that as well. What about oils? Do you sell oil like for to make a torch or I don't know?
of course I do. I'm surprised you haven't noticed the barrels behind you. As you turn around, you do see that there are barrels, each with like a different label on them, and then one of them is oils.
Okay, well, I mean, Yanni, I'm sure you could use some of that. Keep your joints on your bodies there moving. Huh?
Well, the sand can definitely get into some unwanted places, so a bit of oil would definitely facilitate movement.
Yes, also, Good for a little impromptu bomb when you need it, eh? But anyway, also, what about string? Just a little bit of string. I think I found some.
So you did find them as he pulls the string out of the basket. Hmm. Yes. Is that everything you would like to purchase?
From here, I think so. We've got a means of actually creating fire. Do we? Um, someone got a tinderbox?
That
Oh,
would be
I've got one actually.
Of course,
Yeah,
the
then I
Great
think
Cola has one. In case fire does not start as his can help it. Can be scary. And
Oh, and then the last thing that I know this is a bit of a long shot, probably also for the blacksmith, but do you sell caltrops? You know, the little spiked bits of metal.
No, those you'll have to go to the blacksmith as well. The
Oh,
only steel-related things that I have are the natural ores that the blacksmiths purchase and the weapons that they make. None of the other more technical steel contraption.
what about ink and parchment? That I think that's the end of my list.
Oh yes, I have quite a few of them. I am sorry to say they are reserved for another customer.
Oh well, good start. This sponsorship's getting off to, isn't it? Right then, so some string, some oil, and yeah, I think that was. Oh, and some chalk. Thank you.
He goes ahead back into the store, collects some chalk, and moves to the barrel. Do you want the whole thing?
No, just a few vials.
He moves it a bit, opens the lid, and fills a few vials. Hmm. All of this would be about 7 gold pieces.
He looks kind of flabbergasted. Oh, um, ahem, my, hold on a second. Oh, all right then. He just looks to his friends like, is that a fair price? "Yeah, okay.
just get like a slight shake of the head from Yanni.
All right. Yeah, he puts he kind of shrugs and he says, do you think maybe we could work in the discount that you were giving us to that? Or we weren't doing that yet?
Ooh, well, I am delivering for free. I am doing and starting a partnership for free, as well as losing quite a bit of gold. I
For
think
free.
a discount is not required just yet.
Mm. Do you need traveling cloth outfits or not?
No, I'm quite sorted for that.
Not necessarily. But that does bring an interesting question. Are sandworms a frequent encounter in the desert? Just asking the shopkeep.
I'm going on a hunch here, guessing that you are outside.
Perhaps. I have no idea what might have given us away, but I was wondering if there's any way of well, preventing sandworms from noticing us, such as a special type of footwear that we need to wear while traveling the dunes, or maybe another mode of transportation that cannot be perceived by sandworms.
If you don't want to be detected by sand, then you would not have. Well, then you would need to not touch the ground. You see, they have a keen sense of where people are, especially when they're walking on the sand. So unless you are flying or sailing on the ocean, there are no real ways to hide from the sandworm.
Ah, I see. Thank you for the information.
But there are ways of traveling across the desert safely. Have any of you came to the city via the desert? Or were all of you sailed in here?
I presume we all came via the sea, so I guess not.
Yeah, most likely yes.
What other safe method you said traveling over the sands?
Well, the best way to prevent an attack is to be riding one yourself.
Won't the mount be attacked then?
No, because sandworms do not attack their own kind.
Wait, you mean you can ride sandworms to travel in the desert?
He leans forward a bit. There is a special group of individuals, especially in the military, known as the Sand Riders of the Storm. They capture, tame, and train sandworms. Think of them as the true masters of the desert. If you want to get across the desert, you would need to talk to them. I'm guessing you guys are taking all of this down in your notes.
What do you mean? The aspects about the sandworms?
What do you mean by that?
You asked if we are taking notes. Do you refer to the information that we gathered so far about
Yeah,
the
I
sandworms?
was I was asking because there was a bit of a silence, so I was just wondering.
Oh yeah, like taking note to actually like go because you mentioned that it's part of the military, yeah, and this place where the bounties are posted at is a military garrison, so we could like speak with these like sandworm riders to gather more information on to how to actually hunt sandworms.
Mm. Yeah, you could.
Alright, that should be it. Annabelle, Isabel, if you two would be so kind as to help this gentleman over here protect his store from a certain kid. Just scare him off when you can see him stealing. Simply sit still, there and there. Should probably get a field of vision over the entire store. And if you see said kid, just give him a good fright.
I appreciate your help, and I look forward to future business.
Brain actually puts the stuff back down on the table because actually, I think I've worked something out. I don't need these. Can I have my money back, please?
He seems a bit disappointed. He pulls out the 7 gold pieces. All right. You
Yeah,
can
have a
have
nice
it.
day. He takes it and walks out, like just shaking his head to himself. I think want to just scare off a fucking kid. Who's this guy think he is?
Have a pleasant day. And as I walk out with my still defender and Mirabelle in tow, I'm just going to like I assume there are like corner streets or like alleyways and everything around. Um, so I'm going to instruct the last of my attendants to keep watch like outside the store when this kid is scared off by the other two, and then try to like give chase to see where this kid returns to.
All right. You tell your attendant. They nod and they just kind of take a lifeless position under a tree that is in the pretty much perfect position to keep watch outside the store.
Give the puppet a pat on the head and push the steel defender back in the bag of holding. Return to the party.
All right.
Rain goes up to Yanni as he's doing this, and he says, "You don't have any intention of actually trying to terrify this kid to get rid of him, right? We all understand that this is probably just some urchin that can't afford to eat. I mean, I don't know what the hell he's stealing from this guy, but he's got to be desperate."
Oh, I am fully aware of the situation. We needed the good grace of the merchant to actually secure a discount for ourselves to save some money, and that is why I posted my last puppet outside of the store to actually see where this kid goes to, and, well, hopefully he might be the only one, but I kind of doubt it. For cases like these, there are multiple, and just one needs to bring him for the others. So I'm hoping that Mirabelle is discreet enough to, well, follow this kid to whatever hideout he might be having, so that we can actually help them. But
Oh, okay, good. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page because that guy Nez, and he just like shivers and walks away.
of course, we're in agreement. And he like checks the list. I think we might still need some chemical supplies, but I don't know where to actually get them. Maybe the blacksmith is going to have more information for us. You did mention wanting to buy some things from the blacksmith, right?
Yes, I think it would be a worthwhile trip. But I somehow doubt the blacksmith will sell alchemical components. I'm sure they'll have a better idea of where, though.
That is exactly the assumption that I am running on, Wayne.
You and I, we're on the same page there. Yeah, I think great minds. You're the you're the intelligence. I got the wisdom. We'll make a great team.
Just like holds his like puppet hand out for like a high five. Well, you did mention wanting to coordinate our efforts in combat, so that got me thinking that we might need to coordinate our efforts outside of it as well.
Damn right. And he'll uh, reciprocate the high five, just leaving your hand kind of wet again.
One hand is just like hanging for a second, like naturally, then he sets it back right. Perfect. Then let's head for this blacksmith.
All right. So you guys, you didn't really get a direction, so I'm going to ask that one of you, between Yanni and Rain, roll me a survival check.
Hey, Cora, maybe you can get a bird's eye view as well. Have you tried doing that with this town yet? But I think I might know where it is.
All right, bloody hell. Rain, being a stranger in the city, you know that if you had to try and wing it and try and eyeball where the blacksmith would be, in your opinion, you'd get lost. So you just ask the friendliest person that you see, and they just point in the direction. They're actually very nice to talk to. You had a bit of a chat with them, just asking how their day was, and they politely responded. And
Well,
even
I just. Sorry, Karen.
yeah, and eventually they take it up and personally lead you towards the blacksmith and wave you off as they show you where it is and like actually point to the building.
So I just remembered I have a feature called Wanderer, which means you have an excellent memory for maps and geography, and you can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you.
Ooh.
You can also find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 people a day. But I like to imagine that that's how he also, like, he knows where the charcoal burners are because it was by the river, and it's generally not too hard to find your way to the blacksmith from there.
Hmm. All right. We'll
But yeah,
change it up a
no,
bit.
no, I mean what you said is still that would happen. I was just reminded of that feature,
All
and
right.
might come in useful for the rest of these.
All right. I'm just looking where would be a good spot for the blacksmith. Yeah. So you guys walk, and unfortunately, the blacksmith is a bit away, as it's over there. And as you walk and the person leads you, you get in more for the culture as the city starts to liven up quite a bit as the day goes into full swing. In the distance, you can see the smoke coming from the chimneys of the blacksmith. And as you get closer and closer, a familiar banging of metals can be heard. And eventually, when you get close, you see this massive Goliath just swinging a two-handed hammer down onto a piece of metal as a friend of his is holding the metal with a massive pair of tongs. And this metal is just glowing red hot. With every swing, you swear you see an inch of it move. And eventually, they just chuck it back into the furnace. Kind of just wipe their brows a bit as they wait for it to reheat. One of them notices you guys approaching. He notices, but he doesn't give you attention yet as they go back to their motion of swinging the hammer and moving and shaping this large piece of metal. And after about 5 to 10 minutes, the one with the tongs puts the hammer down or puts the metal down onto a table as the one with the hammer puts his tool down and walks up to you guys, and just in a deep voice greets you. Morning. How can I help you?
He's a dwarf. Sorry.
No, Goliath. They're both Goliath.
I look up and, well, we need a few items that you can make, I think. And I will show them the lists, the few items that you're missing from this side.
Oh. Wait, so you handed him the list?
I presume that we have checked the things that we got from the tabaxi.
Oh, yep.
And
Pretty much everything you got from the tabaxi, besides the things that Rain listed, you have already gotten. So there was no real need to go to the blacksmith. Rain's items kind of prompted you guys to go.
Okay, here, do you want my useless shopping list?
well, hand it over to them.
Hello, sir. Do you just make horseshoes here, or do you stock weapons as well?
Well, anything that is metal, we can make.
Right. Well, uh, the I'm looking for a number of things. Do you sell caltrops?
Oh, yes, we do. We don't have any in stock, but we can spend the day making them.
No, that's all right. Don't waste your time. What about a grappling hook? Any of those lying around?
Um, we've got a few, yeah.
All right, I would like to take one of those, please. And do you have any steel mirrors?
Steel mirrors.
Yeah, just a little thing for shaving or something like that. Big fellow like yourself must need something like that, huh?
It's at this moment that you realize that he is fully bearded, and it's a pretty long beard.
A lady, as myself, require a mirror all the time.
Look, you're telling me you keep that beard looking that well maintained without a mirror? Come now.
Uh, well, uh, it does the work itself. There's no real need to maintain it. But I'm sure I have a steel mirror somewhere in the shop. Just give me a moment while I look. If there's anything else you need, just think about that. I'll be right back.
If you have two mirrors, would be nice.
Uh, what kind of tool?
No, two mirrors.
Sorry?
I need another mirror for myself. I put
Oh,
makeup all the
two
time.
mirrors.
I don't know why Rain need one. He's just boil of water.
Oh,
No, I need one for as a tactical tool. They sold proper mirrors at the other place, but also that guy was a ripoff. You're better off with just a little piece of steel, something polished.
Then he's just patting Rain's back, just like, don't bother, just don't bother.
No, look, it's not the money. It's I don't like being taken advantage of. Okay, I got a thing about that, and I don't really understand money, and people tend to just that was almost everything I had. You know how many bowls of rice I. Oh, he's just like he's trying very hard to be a monk right now.
You want fries with that?
right.
I could afford fries with that amount of gold. Do you know how expensive fries are to get in the middle of the desert? No one grows potatoes around here. I don't think.
Are you telling me that you went to Mike's store?
Yes, Mike's. Have you met him? Do you know him? He didn't have. I mean, I assume you don't do much business with him because he didn't hold any of your stock.
No, he is a scoundrel. So you shouldn't have gone to him.
Oh, well, good thing we found ourselves a sponsor. Who would you say is the premier merchant in this town?
Oh, well, there are quite a few family stores, but they're not that diverse in items. But it's best that you go to the market and just stay away from Mike's store. He's pretty much the only one that you don't want to buy from.
And are there any like well-loved families that sort of work in the market? I mean, perhaps even you yourself are a notable member of the community. We're just looking for good people around here that we can associate ourselves with.
Oh well, yeah, there is that yes. He just turns his head, and the other Goliath just looks back at him, and they speak in a different language. Do any of you speak gigantic, or what? How do you actually pronounce
Giant.
that?
You mean
Giant.
Yeah,
giant?
giant.
Of
Yeah,
course, the
giant.
great cola speak giant.
Uh,
Of course.
so Cola, you understand these giants as they say. It's like, what was that nice family's name again? And it's like, which one? The one with the apple pies and the 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 sweet tavern with the special ale. And then the other one just kind of like pokes. I was like, oh yes, you're talking about the twins. Like, yeah, I've forgotten their names really. It's like, oh, well, shit. And he turns back to you guys like, well, there is a tavern not far from here. They are pretty well connected with the smaller businesses. They're two twins, and they're really nice people.
Oh, well, looks like maybe that's where we should go have a drink a bit later then, eh? Looks to the
Oh,
rest of his
Mhm.
party.
Why not?
To the to the apple pie people, we fly now.
don't you want your stuff?
Well, yes, I would. Thank you very much for the recommendation. How much would it be there for the grappling hook and the steel mirror? 2 steel mirrors.
Well,
I
I first need to see if I have the steel mirror.
Even if you just have one, give him his mirror. Don't need it.
Right. He
Yep.
he
Would you
quickly.
like me to tell you how much these things are actually? Because I looked them up. I know these are very obscure things to have in mind as
Yeah.
a DM.
Yes, please. I would like.
'Cause for one grappling hook and one steel mirror, that would be 7 gold. A grappling hook is usually 2, and a steel mirror is usually 5, apparently, which surprised me.
All right. All right. So you see the massive body of this Goliath just stroll into the back. You hear a few clinks and clanks as he's moving things around. One, you hear like something crash to the floor, and just a loud shout in giant. In Cola, you hear him just go, "Oh, fuck!" in his native tongue. And eventually he comes out with 2 steel mirrors and a grappling hook and places them down to the table. Look, you seem like a bunch of nice people, so I'm prepared to make a deal with you if that's alright. Hearing that you went to Mike's, I'm disheartened that some nice looking people, even though some of you are atomically confusing. He stares at Yuna and Yanni.
No offense taken. Don't worry.
Right. I'm prepared to sell you these for 5 gold pieces.
All of it.
Or, yeah.
Oh, very generous of you. Thank you, sir. Uh, now, you see, this is the kind of service that we were looking for in this city. It is an honor to meet you, and I think we may come back one day, perhaps to get a sword or something made that we can wield in your name, eh? We are the
By all
Mythfits. And he'll just extend a hand to shake his, as he pulls out the 5 gold from his own.
He also reaches out. You see his hands are pretty much black from all the metal working. It does look like that he has been trying to wash it off to little and no success. His grip is quite firm, almost too firm for your liking. Those moments where you don't know your own strength. Sure,
Yes.
pleasure. It's a
Firm grip you have
pleasure.
there, sir.
Yeah, sorry, it's a blacksmith hands. So, pleasure meeting the Mythfits. Are you a group of adventurers?
Up and coming, yes.
Hmm. Well, I look forward to hearing the stories of your conquest.
You never heard of us? Oh my god.
Of course they have heard of the great Coline Sorales. He is known around the world. Oh, the name Mythfits is new, but they may not have heard.
You see the
I'm
Goliath. You see the Goliath just look at his friend when Cola's talking, and the friend just shrugs like, "I've never heard of this guy."
I bring out my lute and start just playing a tone and sing how we vanquish the bandit in the pyramid and how we attack blah blah blah, whatever we have done so far, attacking the sea monster, finding lost treasures, and so forth. And I tell them that's our group.
Roll me a performance check.
It was going to be net 20, but
Aw, damn it. It would have been nice if it was. So you pull out your flute, you start playing, you sing here and there, but it's a brand new song. You haven't gotten to test it properly yet. So it it it's not as good as you was hoping, but the Giants or the Goliath still appreciate the effort and they give you an applause after you're done.
thank you. Thank you.
Oh, before we go, the one last thing I wanted to ask: would you be able to silver one's weapons if we, I suppose, if we could provide the silver, or would you be able to do that as well?
Oh, well, yes, of course I'd be able to.
Oh, good. Well, I mean, we might want to look into that, don't you think, Gianni? That spear that we were looking at. If we are going to be running into any more magical creatures, we might want to prepare ourselves.
Oh, don't you worry. I was actually planning on sticking around this blacksmith for a while, at least until you guys check out the tavern place. I do have some more matters that I would like to discuss with these fine gentlemen myself.
Mm.
Oh, very good. And he'll say to the giant, he'll say, "Oh, you should uh, definitely speak with Yanni. He's made some incredible devices." And he just like looks at you and he just looks amazed. So it's like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah, I just noticed your text. Please do make a stealth check. Oh, no, sleight of hand, sorry. Ooh. Mm,
Just underneath the 15 passive perception. No.
mm, yeah.
You nah. He just like he goes, all right, fine, but drinks are on me then, eh?
Alright, well, if, if there's anything else you guys need, I'm more than happy to help.
Well, I believe you and I will have a long chat while my friends trying to make some better connection than this Mike fellow.
Right?
He turns
Sure.
around to the rest of the group. Well, well, should we meet up after you guys are done?
We head back to the base of operation.
Either that or the garrison for some bounties. Perhaps asking these, well, sandworm riders that were mentioned to us, perhaps how to actually tackle such creatures if we do intend to take a bounty hunting them.
Mm.
That sounds good.
Perfect. Now I turn around to the blacksmith and like open the cloak and produce the silver spear. Now let's talk business.
Let's talk business indeed. Alright, and for the rest of you, what will you guys be doing now?
We want to find the tavern so we can locate the shop.
Alright. Before you guys leave, the Goliath does give you the directions towards the tavern. As he can't really remember the name of the owners, but he does remember the place, and because he frequents it quite a bit. But after every night, he's a bit too wobbly to remember things. So you guys are able to find it with ease. As you arrive to the tavern again, on your walk, the city becomes more lively as people are just walking past, getting to their destinations. And when you arrive to the tavern, you see it's a pretty decent sized place with a nicely kind of indented engraving into a sort of metal section on this stone slash mud wall saying the Twins' Delight. And from what you can hear outside, the tavern is quite bustling. Now, I will leave the session there as it is getting a bit late. So we'll call it an end for tonight.
Thank you. Actually meant to stick back with the blacksmith because I really had to go. I gotta like
Mm.
wake up in like 3 hours. So
All right. Well, thank you
Cool.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for the session.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
it was a very fun session. Thank you, Helga.
Yeah, I like the role play. I especially like the Tabaxi dude. I'm glad you guys felt off about him.
Mm-hmm. You do a pretty good job at bringing certain NPCs to life. Most definitely.
Until someone smashes him into the paste. Needs to.
Yeah, if I was playing a different character, I think that might have gone very differently. But that was fun.
Yeah. Alrighty, and thank you guys.